My name is Brother Stephen. Welcome to Penn Evangelist YouTube channel. This is my first video. I'm talking to my son Wesley, who was named after one of the world's great evangelists, John Wesley, the 1700s. Today we're going to talk about, this is pretty much an introduction of the YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about my experiences at Harvard University and the University of Pennsylvania. I've had the blessing to speak at 4 Ivy League colleges. There's actually 8 Ivy League colleges in America. Most of them were started by Christians, Bible-believing Christians. The first one, of course, was Harvard. It started in 1636 when it started, the oldest school in America. And then we have Yale, Penn, Princeton, Columbia, Brown, Dartmouth, I think I'm missing one, and then Cornell. In New York, should be 8. So again, it's Harvard, Yale, Penn, University of Penn, Princeton, Columbia in New York, Cornell, New York, Brown in Providence, Rhode Island, Dartmouth in New Hampshire. But I've had the privilege of speaking 4 of them. Harvard was my first one, University of Penn was the second, Princeton was third, and Yale was the fourth. I started the YouTube channel today, January 26, 2018. And here's the channel. YouTube channel is Penn Evangelists. The reason I wanted to start this mostly for my sons, my 3 sons. They're all 3 of them are named after evangelists. But also because a few nights ago when the Eagles won the championship against the Vikings, I was downtown celebrating, watching people celebrate, videotaping. I was at the Wawa's on Broad and Walnut Street. And 2 gentlemen said, "Oh my gosh, I remember you. You're Brother Stephen. I remember you." You guys remember that? Yeah, back in 1998 when I first started preaching at the University of Pennsylvania. And they remember me how many years later? Was that 20 years later? Or so, 20 years later. So on behalf of them and all the other students I met in 1998 through 2002, it's 4 years, I met with many students from different Ivy League colleges and about 40 colleges in America. I had the privilege of speaking at. So this channel here, we're going to talk a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the Bible, evangelism, apologetics. We're going to talk about how to deal with atheists, how to debate atheists. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And I'm going to talk a lot about the various heroes of the Christian faith, people like John Wesley, Charles Finney, George Whitefield, Martin Luther, of course. We're going to talk about those things. Contact me through my email, pennevangelist@gmail.com. Again, it's Penn with 2 N's, University of Penn, pennevangelist@gmail.com. And that's how you can contact me, ask me questions about the Bible, about evangelism, about Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, questions about the Bible. We're also going to do teachings on theology. The Presbyterians are Calvinists. I'm not a Calvinist. I agree more with John Wesley, who was an Arminian. He believed in free will, and we're going to be talking about theology too in these lectures. But contact me, email me at pennevangelist@gmail.com. Also, okay, today's first video is I'm entitling it, "We Are Monkeys." I'm going to tell you the story behind that. We are monkeys. There are people who actually live in this world who believe human beings come from monkeys. It is rather ridiculous and very ignorant to think that human beings came from monkeys. This evolution concept, the theory of evolution, it's really ridiculous. I'm going to tell my experience at Harvard University, America's first college, one of the greatest schools in America, probably second to Princeton University in academics, has people believing we came from monkeys. I'll be talking about that in a few minutes. But when you email me at pennevangelist@gmail.com, request this booklet. I'm selling a booklet that I'm writing entitled "We Are Monkeys." That's my first video and the first book. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about my experience at Harvard University. It's actually my first Ivy League school I had the privilege of speaking at. It was back in 1988. back when I was in college. I just finished going to school at Jimmy Swagger Bible College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But I'll never forget it. Me and my evangelist friend, his name is Timothy, we were working at a drug rehab center in Boston, Massachusetts. And I said, Tim, we got to go to Harvard and preach the Bible and scriptures at Harvard and talk to the students there. It was in the summertime, and Tim was like, okay, we'll do that. So one day after work, we worked at a drug rehab center. They had us working all day. We worked from 11 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night. So 11 o'clock at night, we were all ready to go. We had our Bibles ready. We took off right after working right to Harvard real late at night. It was the summertime, and the day we were there happened to be seniors, high school kids were there going to Harvard to learn about, Harvard. And so we ran across all these teenagers. Yes, my manner was, my habit of evangelism was just, if I see a group of people, I would introduce myself and say, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Bible. And so that's what we did. Tim was very, if you want to know more details about what happened, it's in my book, We Are Monkeys. It's a $5, $15 for the pamphlet. You can send the $15 money order, and I'll give you my pamphlet, more detailed stories about what happened at Harvard. But basically, what happened is we started preaching, right, at the scriptures, and we got in this big discussion about evolution. And this girl, she was in high school still. She must have been like 16 or 17, probably 17. And she kept saying, "We came from monkeys." She started screaming, "We came from monkeys. We came from monkeys." And Tim and I were just rolling our eyes like, this girl is just insane. How in the world can she think, being educated, that came from monkeys? Now, they say there's like 96% similarities between human beings and primates like chimpanzees. Well, there's also 96, watermelons are 96% water, and clouds are 96% water. So that kind of idea, I could say watermelons come from clouds. They're both 96% water. This makes no sense. Just because something has the same percentage of similarities doesn't mean it came from that particular thing. So human beings or primates are very similar. We're not animals. See, human beings are made in God's image. Monkeys were not made in God's image. The animal kingdom was made for man, and man was made for God. And we are God's special creation. In fact, Jesus said, what is the cost of one man's soul? He said, you can gain the whole world, but if you lose your soul, it profits you nothing. So if you look at that verse right there, it shows that human beings are worth what human being is worth, the price of the whole world. And Jesus shed his blood just for the salvation of mankind. So Jesus put a high value on human beings. He did not put high value on monkeys, goats, sheep, pigs, any other creatures. He put the value on human beings. We're God's special creation. So if you want to learn more about our YouTube channel, you can email me at penevangelist@gmail.com, and to get a booklet about all the specific details about my experience at Harvard University, I request the We Are Monkeys booklet.